If you're running a growing small or medium-sized business, well, you definitely know the grind.
Yeah.
You're constantly trying to juggle these two things, right? Like the need for super rapid growth
Mm-hmm.
and then this desperate need for some kind of organization.
It's a real tension.
How do you streamline operations, keep everyone, maybe remote or hybrid teams, truly in sync without just drowning everyone in, bureaucracy?
Yeah, endless paperwork nobody reads.
Exactly. And that tension, that push and pull between growth and potential chaos, that's why we're doing this deep dive today.
Right.
Our mission is to really dig into the power of standard operating procedures, SOPs.
Okay.
We've looked at source material that kind of flips the script on these often seen as dull documents.
They have that reputation, don't they?
They do. But this shows how they can actually be a catalyst for speed, consistency, and importantly, real scalability.
Especially for those faster-moving startups and SMBs.
Precisely.
And maybe we should start by just recalibrating what an SOP actually is.
Good idea. Because people hear SOP and think.
Dusty binder on a shelf,
It's
right?
like the boring manual.
Yeah, that's not really it, or it shouldn't be. An SOP is, well, it's a structured, detailed, step-by-step set of instructions.
Step by step. Key phrase.
Absolutely. It's designed to be the definitive guide,
Yeah.
Making sure a critical task gets done correctly,
Mm-hmm.
the same way, every single time. Doesn't matter who on the team is doing it.
Okay, so consistency baked in.
That's the goal.
Now, historically, you'd think SOPs, that's for the huge corporations, the really regulated places.
Oh, definitely. Think NASA, big pharma,
Yeah.
massive factories, places where getting it wrong could be, well, disastrous.
Right, life or death sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But the big shift, the one our source material really highlights, is critical.
What's that?
Smaller businesses are realizing that while the stakes might not be, life or death in that sense,
Uh-huh.
the stakes for profitability, for survival, absolutely are.
Okay, so it's about business health.
Precisely. They just can't afford the inefficiency, the errors that come from relying purely on informal, undocumented ways of doing things.
Which brings us right to, well, the hidden costs, the sometimes catastrophic costs of keeping things informal.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Think about the current reality for so many SMBs. Their entire operation sometimes, it rests on what you might call tribal knowledge.
Right, that knowledge that only exists in, scattered emails, handwritten notes, maybe a few Slack DMs.
Or, and this is the really dangerous one, it's all stuck in the head of one person, that one irreplaceable team member.
The knowledge silo. And that reliance, it just creates so much friction, doesn't it?
Huge friction.
Think about the direct results. Inconsistencies in, say, client work.
Yeah.
Higher error rates that mean costly fixes, rework.
Wasted time.
And just massive amounts of time wasted because people are constantly asking questions, double-checking, or just guessing what the next step is supposed to be.
You really see this blow up during transitions, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, say your most experienced person for onboarding new clients, they decide to move on.
Okay.
Suddenly, poof, weeks, maybe months of complex, undocumented procedure just walks right out the door with them.
And the business just sort of grinds to a halt while everyone scrambles to reverse engineer how they did things.
It's panic mode.
And the way we work now has just amplified this need like tenfold.
You mean remote and hybrid?
Exactly. That whole post-pandemic reality. Remote, hybrid teams. You can't rely on just being in the same room anymore.
Right. No more shouting across the office for a password or asking about a client's weird invoicing rule.
Nope. Everything really has to be documented and easily accessible, or your whole operation becomes geographically stuck, fragile even.
So if a company needs to grow, especially with a scattered team, what actually supports that expansion? How do you build on shaky ground?
Well, that's where structure comes in. There's a business leadership expert, Ron Carucci, who put it really well.
What did he say?
He said basically, solid SOPs are the scaffolding that supports company growth, innovation, and effective delegation.
Scaffolding. I like that visual.
Yeah. Without that structure, that scaffolding, trying to expand isn't really growth. It's just more volume leading to more chaos.
Increased chaos. Nobody wants that.
And if you connect that idea, that scaffolding idea, to the broader concept of systemization,
Okay.
you come back to Michael Gerber's famous insight. You probably know this one.
Remind me.
Great businesses are built on great systems, not just great people.
Yes. Systems over individuals, in a sense.
Right, and the SOP is like the core component. It takes the brilliance, the best practices of your top people, and turns it into a replicable, predictable system that ideally anyone competent can follow.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, moving from the philosophical to the, really practical, because the impact is actually measurable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Our sources pointed to some, frankly, eye-opening stats from SCORE, the SBA resource partner.
Yeah, they do great work.
This is the aha moment for anyone listening and wondering, is this documentation stuff really worth the effort?
So what did SCORE find?
Get this. Businesses that actually invest in and maintain documented processes, they are 40% more likely to successfully scale their operations.
40%. Wow.
40. And just as critical, they're 28% less likely to run into operational errors.
Okay, those are significant numbers. 40% more likely to scale.
It's astonishing, right? It draws a really clear line between being organized with documented systems and actual commercial success.
When you look at numbers like that, suddenly the cost of not documenting seems like the bigger risk.
It really reframes it.
It translates directly into potentially huge savings on fixing mistakes, on wasted staff hours.
Yeah.
And the practical uses are immediate. Think about onboarding.
Okay, new hires, always a challenge.
Right. But when you have a professional, clear SOP for, say, their core tasks, training stops being this week-long, expensive shadowing process full of guesswork. It literally becomes more like a plug-and-play process.
Plug and play.
Yeah. You hand the new hire the document, maybe walk them through it once, they follow the steps, and they can achieve consistency much, much faster.
And crucially, that standardizes the quality, doesn't it? Across the whole team.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if you're training someone on a night shift or someone in a different country. The quality of delivery should stay high because the process is fixed.
This also tackles that big delegation bottleneck for founders, right?
Huge bottleneck.
Founders are always stuck micromanaging critical tasks because deep down, they don't trust the outcome if someone else does it without their direct input.
Because the process isn't clear. SOPs help remove that element of personal risk, making delegation feel safer and actually work.
Okay, can we make this even more concrete, maybe with an example?
Sure. Let's take the marketing agency example from the source material.
Okay.
Imagine a fast-growing agency juggling dozens of social media campaigns for different clients.
Sounds stressful.
It is. Now, if they lack a solid SOP for social media management, every junior account manager might handle things slightly differently.
Different tools, different approval flows.
Exactly. Different ways of scheduling posts, different ways of getting client approvals, different ways of tracking metrics. The result:
Inconsistent brand voice, missed deadlines, unhappy clients.
all of the above. Chaos. But picture it with a well-documented system.
Okay.
Maybe it's a visual SOP, loads of annotated screenshots showing their specific scheduling tool, clearly defining who approves what content and by when.
Right.
Suddenly, any trained team member can step in, manage the client communication, schedule the posts flawlessly.
So brand consistency is baked in, even if the main social media manager is out sick or on vacation.
Precisely. The system ensures quality, not just the individual.
Okay, that sounds fantastic, genuinely transformative. But we have to hit the reality check, right? The friction point for that busy SMB owner,
Which is?
time. It always comes back to time. I can barely keep up with my email, let alone find, weeks to sit down and create comprehensive, user-friendly, accurate documentation from scratch.
Totally valid concern.
What if I just don't have the internal expertise, or honestly, just the sheer hours to do this properly?
And that time constraint. That's the number one reason this vital task gets neglected historically. It just falls down the priority list.
Below the immediate fires.
Always. Our sources show that this exact challenge, lack of internal time, maybe lack of documentation, know-how, it's actually created a whole new market solution.
Oh, what's that?
People are outsourcing it. They're hiring professionals to create their SOPs for them.
Outsourcing SOP creation. Okay, but wait. If I hire some external person, how do I know they'll really get it? How do they capture the nuance, the tribal knowledge we talked about?
Good question.
Won't they miss critical steps that only someone who actually does the job every day knows?
That's a fundamental challenge. And look, the good services in this space have figured out how to address it. The key value they bring isn't just writing speed. It's objectivity and structure. They approach documenting your process almost scientifically. The best services, they start with a really dedicated, detailed discovery session. Not just ticking boxes on a form, but like an immersive interview.
With who?
With the team members who currently perform that process best. Their job is to extract the unique workflow, the little tricks, the whys behind the steps.
Okay. So the outside expert acts more like a facilitator or maybe an architect, taking the messy reality and building a clear blueprint.
Exactly. They turn the internal, sometimes chaotic knowledge into an organized, structured, usable format.
So if you, the listener, are considering outsourcing this, what specific features should you look for based on what we found? What makes a good service?
Okay, definitely look for customization and implementation readiness.
Yeah.
The end product shouldn't be some generic template.
No boilerplate.
Right. It has to be a professionally documented SOP, totally tailored to your specific business, your tools, your objectives.
Makes sense.
And that documentation needs critical elements.
Yeah.
Really clear step-by-step instructions, obviously. Relevant screenshots, super important for visual guidance. Maybe even short video clips for complex steps. And specific definitions of roles responsible for each step.
Roles, not just names. Good point.
Yeah, people change, roles persist.
Uh-huh.
And then the format matters for the long haul.
How so?
Well, documentation designed for actual use, it's usually provided in, say, a shareable PDF for quick reference.
Okay.
And in an editable format, like a Word document.
Ah, so you can update it easily.
Exactly. It ensures the SOP stays a living document that your internal team can tweak as the process inevitably evolves over time. You don't want it instantly outdated.
And speed must be a factor too.
Yeah, speed's a market advantage. Providers often aim for a pretty fast turnaround, like 3 to 5 business days for one process, because the whole point is to get those operational benefits quickly.
Right. So looking at that kind of service, the investment is essentially buying back the founder's time.
Yes.
And guaranteeing professional quality documentation right from the start.
That's the value proposition.
Okay, let's pivot then. Whether you tackle this internally or use an external service, let's talk implementation. If you're convinced, okay, I need SOPs, where do you actually start? What's the smart way to prioritize?
Right. You can't boil the ocean. Don't start with the easiest process. That feels good, but it might not move the needle much.
So where then?
Start with the most painful process.
The painful one.
Yeah. Prioritize the areas where errors are currently costing you the most money or reputation. Or where training new people takes the longest time.
Oh.
Or, and this is key, the process that's highly repetitive and critical.
Attack the biggest bottleneck first.
Exactly, because that's where documenting it will give you the highest return on your investment, like immediately. Fight the biggest leak.
Okay, aim for impact, not just easy wins. But hang on, is starting with the biggest fire always the best? Or is that just, constantly fighting symptoms?
But it enables something crucial. Delegation.
Yeah.
That's the key difference.
How so?
If you document the most complex recurring task that you, the founder or manager, are currently stuck doing, you immediately free up your own time and you eliminate the highest risk of error if someone else tries it undocumented.
Okay, example.
Say you document the super complicated monthly client invoicing procedure that always seems to have discrepancies.
Right, that eats up hours.
Once that's documented clearly, you haven't just documented a process, you've created a delegable asset. You can hand it off with confidence.
That makes a ton of sense. Creating delegable assets. Okay, now let's talk structure. What makes an SOP good? What do the sources say about effective documents versus just like a long checklist?
Yeah, a good SOP is built to be used, not just filed away. So first, it should be highly visual whenever possible.
Visual?
Yeah, use flowcharts for decision points, use screenshots, diagrams, make it easy to scan and understand quickly.
Reduce the reading on them.
Exactly. Second, it must clearly define the roles involved, not just people's names. We mentioned that, but it's critical.
Yeah.
If John leaves, the lead approver role still exists and someone else steps in.
Got it. Roles, not names.
And third, the tone matters. It should be instructional, helpful, not punitive or bureaucratic. It's a guide, not a list of rules to catch people out. The main goal is to reduce the cognitive load on the user. Make it easy for them to do it right.
Reducing cognitive load. Okay, that ties straight into needing team buy-in, right?
Right.
It's vital to get your staff involved in creating these.
Absolutely essential.
But is involving the team always smooth sailing? Sometimes people resist documentation. They feel like it threatens their special knowledge or makes their job too rigid.
Oh yeah, resistance is common. That's precisely why team involvement is mandatory, not optional.
Or mandatory.
If the team helps write it, they own it. It ensures the documentation actually reflects the real-world workflow, catches those little nuances you were worried about earlier, and it just dramatically increases the chances people will actually follow it. You have to frame it correctly, though.
How?
Not as making your job rigid, but as let's capture and institutionalize your expertise, your best practices, so everyone can benefit and we can rely on it.
Make them the experts shaping the standard.
Exactly.
Okay, and finally, the issue of maintenance. An SOP isn't a one-and-done thing, is it? You build it, you can't just file it and forget it.
Absolutely not. That's a classic mistake. SOPs are living documents. They have to be.
Why?
Because things change. Tools change constantly, especially SaaS platforms. Your teams evolve. Your business strategy shifts.
True.
So the documentation needs regular review and updates. Maybe quarterly, maybe annually, depending on the process. They're the foundation of your company's ability to adapt. It's resilience.
So if you neglect maintenance...
You're basically just recreating the old problem of inaccurate tribal knowledge, only now it's inaccurate knowledge on paper, which might be even worse.
Good point.
No.
Okay, let's try and synthesize everything we've covered in this deep dive then.
All right.
Investing in professional SOP creation, or even just dedicating serious internal time to documenting properly, it's not just about getting some paperwork done.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's really a powerful catalyst for achieving operational clarity, first off, then ensuring consistency in everything you do, and finally, providing that crucial structure, that scaffolding for scalable growth.
And the bottom line is, it's the proven way to save time and dramatically cut down on costly errors.
These systems, especially now, with teams often scattered everywhere,
Remote, hybrid, different offices, yeah.
they really represent a critical source of competitive advantage, don't they? They ensure consistent quality, consistent output, no matter who's doing the work or where they are.
Or if key people leave, it builds resilience.
Right. Resilience and adaptability.
So maybe we leave you, the listener, with a final thought. Provocative one to chew on.
Okay, let's hear it.
If documenting just one single process properly means it gets done with consistent quality, even when you're not there, when you're on vacation or focused elsewhere, what complex, high-value task are you currently performing manually, day in, day out, that once it's systemized and documented as an SOP, would immediately unlock your ability to focus on the next level?
Like what?
Like strategy, innovation, new market exploration, serious growth planning. What could you delegate reliably tomorrow if the process was nailed down today? Think about the time you could genuinely free up.